Some accounting experts are raising alarms about a $6 million contract with a nonprofit struggling to meet transparency requirements. Patrick Huff from our Spotlight on Maryland team has the latest in his investigation into how nonprofits spend taxpayer dollars.
There's potentially some money missing here.
We reported last year on how the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services awarded a $6 million contract to the We Are Us nonprofit, despite the group not filing a required tax form with the IRS since 2022. Plus, the nonprofit's president owed more than $200,000 in combined federal and state taxes. The group told us in November that they would file these overdue tax forms by the end of 2025.
And so when can the public expect those two tax forms?
As soon as the audit is done, our tax accountant will file the taxes as soon as the audit is done.
Good.
And I'm expecting no later than the end of this year.
Since then, the group did file its fiscal year 2023 tax form, but there's still no published form for fiscal year 2024, which was due in May.
So you cannot withhold information because you're awaiting an audit.
That's Linda Parsons, a professor at the University of Alabama focused on nonprofit accounting. She said We Are Us has no excuse for its continued failure to report its finances to the taxpayers who pay their bills.
It's unacceptable. If you're getting taxpayer dollars, you need to have the capacity to report the spending on those dollars. You need to have the systems in place to track those funds, to assure that you're complying with the terms of the grant.
Parsons is not alone in her concern.
The fact that the numbers aren't tying out, it doesn't give you an indication of there's potentially some money missing here.
Laurie Styron is the CEO of Charity Watch, which studies the relationship between nonprofits and government. She described a series of issues in We Are Us's fiscal year 2023 tax form that was filed late in November, including how the organization did not list its finances from the previous fiscal year, did not undergo an audit, did not list its board members, did not have policies for whistleblowers and conflicts of interest.
It's concerning that the tax filings are late, but it's also concerning that the tax filing they did file for 2023 is really sloppy from what we observed.
We Are Us's services include mentorship to vulnerable youth, providing food to families in need, and helping the unemployed find jobs. Barnes told us this month that We Are Us filed its fiscal year 2024 form in January. However, he declined to provide the document, saying it needs to be processed by the IRS before becoming publicly available. Brian Mittendorf, a professor at Ohio State University focused on nonprofit accounting, disputed this point, countering that We Are Us should provide proof of its filed 990, especially considering it was already late.
Anytime you have a Form 990, you should make it publicly available, whether it's hosted on the IRS website or not.
Styron agreed.
It looks very cagey that they're claiming to have filed with the IRS, but they're not willing to provide you with the copy.
We asked DJS and Governor Wes Moore's office the following questions. Is We Are Us qualified to handle millions of taxpayer dollars? Has We Are Us started to spend money as a part of its $6 million state contract? Neither responded to the questions. DJS referred Spotlight on Maryland to a previous statement claiming that We Are Us is in good standing with the Maryland State Department of Assessments and Taxation. The group's latest tax form from fiscal year 2023 shows it's 95% funded by taxpayer dollars. Mittendorf said the Maryland state government should tell We Are Us to be more transparent in how it spends taxpayer money.
Why were they not being pressured to do more, provide more transparency, provide stronger governance?
I pulled some records at the courthouse that show.
We asked We Are Us President Antoine Burton last year about the $200,000 he owes in personal taxes.
Can taxpayers trust an organization with its money that's run by someone who doesn't pay their taxes?
Well, I do pay my taxes, and right now that's something that's being disputed, in which I can send you the document so you can have that. But at the same time, there's an asserted team that's in place to make sure that funds are facilitated properly.
Burton never provided documents disputing his tax liens, which we discovered through court records. Documentation of We Are Us's $6 million contract obtained by Spotlight on Maryland in a public information request shows that DJS determined the nonprofit to be responsive and responsible. The contract was awarded through a non-competitive procurement process. Meanwhile, the Maryland State Government Database of Nonprofits lists We Are Us as not current, as its latest provided financial information is from 2022. Experts said We Are Us may not have been qualified for such a large pool of taxpayer money.
There's a difference between a one-time lapse in judgment or a reporting issue and a pattern over a long period of time of a lack of accountability.
The package as a whole indicates just a lack of organization on the financial side.
At this point, it seems they have not provided evidence that they're capable of executing the grant. I would not give them additional funding.
For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.